Cyrano and Ragueneau walk cautiously down the alleyways, but they soon encounter a lackey who whistles to his comrades to gather reinforcements. He engages Cyrano with a sword, but Cyrano's sword is already drawn, and he efficiently outclasses and dispatches his first opponent. A second is not far behind, though. As he is fencing with one, "Cyrano, look!" Ragueneau points to another man coming down the opposite end of the alleyway. Cyrano maneuvers to keep both opponents to one side of him. But then more come from yet another direction. "Look out behind you!" Blades clatter more intensely, and Cyrano is forced to contend with a larger and larger number of simultaneous opponents. He cuts down what he can to try and simplify the situation, but they continue driving forward, and he and Ragueneau are forced back towards a dead end. Cyrano looks contemptuously at the lackeys trembling before him. "I have been robbed. There are no 100 here." You see, although multiple waves of reinforcements have arrived at this point, Cyrano has taken out just over half of them, and only 4 remain. In desperation, one of the lackeys throws a dagger at Ragueneau, and it hits a door an inch from Ragueneau's head. "Be quick! Inside! For the bolt!" With Ragueneau safely behind the door, Cyrano can direct his full attention on the remaining foes. However, another, larger wave of reinforcement comes, and Cyrano is forced to make his way onto a wall to prevent himself from being cornered. He eventually maneuvers his way to an elevated stone portico that allows him to constrict his foes to attack him by twos on each side. He alternates between beating back swords from the left and then lunging to the right to beat back attackers coming up from that side. As they continue to charge toward their deaths with greater haste, he starts thrusting with both his sword and the dagger from earlier so as to take out 2 lackeys at a time, but they just keep coming. At this point, Captain Lebret finds Cyrano and starts making his way over. "Cyrano!" Just then, Cyrano gathers together the remaining lackey's swords using his dagger and hurls them up into the air up behind him. Disarmed, the lackeys stare stupidly at Cyrano, wondering what he'll do next. Cyrano makes a motion as if to ready an attack, and they turn tail and run away. "How do you feel?" "Oh, pleasantly exhilarated." "Come, I know a little tavern not far. Where's Ragueneau?" "Ragueneau? Ragueneau! Little poet, come out. All's well."
"Is it over?"
"All over."
"Really? So soon?"
"Oh, if only I had my sword. How many did we kill?"
"Oh, about 8.
8.
8? Oh!"
Cyrano and Captain Lebret have to catch Ragueneau to keep him on his feet. They make their way over to his shop, which is not far. The Comte de Guiche looks on at the scene from the shadows. "This gentleman begins to annoy me." The next morning, we find Ragueneau more in his element, guiding the other pâtissiers in the production of the day's pastries.
"No, the sauce and meat must rhyme. Add a pinch of marigold and thyme."
"Your house of crust needs a stronger roof, eh? There's proof." Then he makes his way over to Cyrano, waiting at the door for Roxane to arrive.
Cyrano, come in and eat something."
"What time is it?"
"Oh, not quite 7. Oh, please now, Cyrano, a man without breakfast is like—"
"Could she have changed her mind?"
"Oh, she wouldn't dare. We were magnificent last night.
"And at the theater, too." "Then, as I end the refrain, when she arrives, where can we converse undisturbed?"
"Wherever you like. My shop is yours. The little dining room is quite romantic."
"Thrust home."
Ye gods, what a line. "Then, as I end the
Vanish."
"Oh, she's come."
"Shh.
I told you."
Welcome. Roxane and her duenna enter. When the duenna makes as though to follow Roxane, Cyrano takes her to the side for a moment. Pardon, one word."
"Oh, yes?
Have you good digestion?"
"Oh, wonderful.
Here are some eclairs, some cream puffs, some jelly rolls. And do you like nature?"
"I adore it."
"Then go out there and eat these in the sunshine. Do not return,
but
until you have finished them." Cyrano closes the door.
"But my duty?"
Cyrano waves the duenna goodbye and turns to guide Roxane into the private dining room. Blessed above all others be the hour when you remembered to remember me, and came to tell me... what?
To tell you that... Before I dare tell you, Are you, I wonder, still the same big brother almost that you used to be when we were children? Playing by the pond in the old garden down there?
At Bergerac, those lovely summers.
He used to make swords out of bulrushes.
And you dandelion dolls with golden hair.
In those days I could tell you everything. And you did everything I wished.
Little Roxanne, a sweet tyrant with short skirts and long hair.
Was I pretty?
Not too plain.
Sometimes, when you had fallen or hurt your hand, you used to come running to me, and I would be your mother and say, oh, in a very grown-up voice, "Now, what have you been doing to yourself? Let me see. Oh, wait, let me see. Still, at your age? Now, how did you do that?"
Playing with the big boys at the Place de Nel.
Come here.
Such a wise little mother.
And tell me, while I wash this blood away, how many you played with?
Oh, about 100.
100?
Well, more or less.
Tell me.
No. Tell me what you were going to tell me if you dared.
I think I do dare now. It seems so like those happy days long ago. Yes, I dare. Listen. I love someone.
Yes?
Someone who does not know.
Yes?
Someone who loves me too, but is afraid of me and keeps away and never says one word.
Yes?
Give me back your hand. Why, how hot it is. Yes, he loves me, I am sure of it.
Yes?
And he is a soldier, too, in your own regiment, your company.
Yes?
And such a man. He is proud, noble, young, brave, beautiful.
Beautiful?
Oh, what's the matter?
Nothing. This. My hand.
Well, I love him, that is all. And I have never seen him anywhere except at the theatre.
You have never spoken?
Only with our eyes.
Well, then, how do you know?
Well, people talk about people, and I hear things, and I know.
You say he is in the Guards. His name?
Baron Christian de Neveillet.
He is not in the Guards.
Yes, since last week. He has only lately come to Paris from Normandy.
So soon. So soon we lose our hearts. But,
Monsieur de Bergerac, I have eaten all the cakes.
Good. Now go out and enjoy nature. But, my dear child, you love only words, wit, poetry. Why, for all you know, the man may be a savage or a fool.
Not with such eyes. I read his soul in them.
Yes, all our souls are written in our eyes. And you have brought me here to tell me this? I do not yet quite understand, madame, the reason for your confidence.
They say that in your company, it frightens me.
You are all Gascons, and we take up quarrel with any outsider who intrudes himself. Is that what you have heard?
I am so afraid for him.
Not without reason.
And I thought you, if you, whom they all respect and fear.
You want me to defend your little baron?
Will you? Just for me? Because I have always been your friend?
And this is what you want of me?
Will you be his friend?
I will be his friend.
And never let him fight a duel?
No, never.
Promise?
I promise.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I knew I could rely on you. Well, now I must go. Oh, you never told me about last night. Why, you must have been a hero. Have him write and tell me all about it, and About himself. Oh, you are a darling. We are great friends, are we not? He must write to me. 100 men against one. You shall tell me the whole story some day when we have time.
As Roxane departs, she exclaims once more for emphasis,
100 men! What courage!
I have done better since. Captain Lebré walks down the street and then enters the pastry shop to greet Cyrano. Well? Let us leave this place. But the whole company is on its way here. Oh, no. They're on my heels. Naturally, I told them all about last night. They're wild. Here they are. Oh, Captain, why did you? Perhaps I can stop them. Never mind. The ecstatic company applauds and embraces Cyrano. Cyrano! Meanwhile, in the cardinal's dining room. 8 dead men in the street. Scandalous. You know my edict against dueling, nephew. I expect to have it enforced. Furthermore, I wish to know who was responsible for last night's outrage at the Place Tournelle. I understand, Your Eminence. Very well. And now I have news that should be more to your liking.
I fear, in confidence, our uneasy armistice with Spain is doomed.
My colonelcy? Your commission has been prepared. Oh, thank you, uncle, thank you. Oh, and one thing more. Last night at the theatre, the duel in rhyme? That guardsman with the nose? De Bergerac, that impossible Gascon? Yes, impossible. His treatment of Montfleury, abominable. The arrogance with which he closed the play, incredible. It will be a miracle if the Vicomte survives, deplorable. What will you do with him, Your Eminence? I? Nothing. I thought I might leave that to you. To me? Yes. Place him somewhere in your service, with a comfortable allowance. He looked a little threadbare. But, Your Eminence, you detest dueling. Of course I do. Why didn't you prevent it? I should much prefer that Monsieur de Bergerac live by the pen, rather than die by the sword. Do you not agree, Antoine? By all means, Your Eminence. By all means. The Comte de Guiche departs, bowing deeply. The cardinal then holds up his butter knife and mutters to himself, and then, as I end the refrain, thrust home. He glances to the side, suddenly realizing that a servant is about to get within earshot. Back at Ragueneau's pastry shop, the Comte de Guiche makes an unscheduled appearance, accompanied by his entourage. Monsieur de Bergerac. Your Excellency? I have come to express my admiration for both your exploits last night. Indeed. Thank you. My dear fellow, we may have had our differences, but I am disposed to forget them. That is very generous of you, sir. No, truly. You are, it seems, a man of many skills, a rare combination, soldier and poet. Would you care to join my following? No, sir. I do not follow. I am told you have written a play. As you know, my uncle the Cardinal is also a dramatist. I might help you there. Cyrano, now at last you can have it performed. Why not? I could take it to him. Really? Of course. Let him rewrite a few lines here and there, and he'll find a theatre for you. Rewrite my lines? Impossible. But when he likes a thing, he pays well. Yes, but not so well as I. When I have made a line that sings itself, I pay myself 100 times. You are proud, my friend. You have observed that. Just then, a guardsman enters the pastry shop carrying a stack of hats he's collected from the street. Cyrano, see what we found on the street. Plumes dropped in their flight by those fine birds who showed their tail feathers. The man who hired those scoundrels, he must be an angry man today. Who was it? Do you know? It was I. I hired them to do the sort of work we do not soil our hands with. Punishing an insolent poet. They ought to be mounted before they spoil. What shall we do with them? Sir? Cyrano takes the hats. Will you not return these to your friends? He throws them at De Guiche's feet. Have you read Don Quixote? I have, and found myself the hero. Be so good as to read once more the chapter of the windmills, chapter 13. Windmills, remember, if you fight with them, may swing round their huge arms and cast you down into the mire, or up, among the stars. De Guiche departs, but Captain Lebret pulls Cyrano to the side. You've done it now. You'd made your fortune. He was willing to forget. There you go again, growling. Yes, this latest pose of yours, ruining every opportunity that comes your way, becomes exaggerated. Very well, then I exaggerate. There are certain things in this world a man does well to carry to extremes. Your precious independence, your white plume. What? How do you expect to succeed in life? What would you have me do? Seek for the patronage of some great man and like a creeping vine on a tall tree crawl upward where I cannot stand alone? No, thank you. Be a buffoon in the vile hope of teasing out a smile on some cold face? No, thank you. Eat a toad for breakfast every morning, make my knees calloused, cultivate a supple spine, wear out my belly groveling in the dust? No, thank you. With my left hand, scratch the back of any swine that roots up gold for me, while my right hand, too proud to know his partner's business, takes in the fee? No, thank you. Shall I use the fire God gave me to burn incense all day long? No, thank you. Still to insinuate my name into the columns of the Gazette? Calculate, scheme, be afraid, love more to make a visit than a poem? Seek introductions, influences? No, thank you. No, I thank you, and again, I thank you. But to sing, to laugh, to dream, to walk in my own way, free with an eye to see things as they are. A voice that means manhood. To cock my hat where I choose, at a word, a yes, a no. To fight or write, but never make a line I have not heard in my own heart. To travel any road under the sun, under the stars, nor care if fame or fortune lie beyond the bourne. Yet with all modesty to say, my soul be satisfied with flowers, with weeds, with thorns even, but gather them in the one garden you may call your own. In a word, I'm too proud to be a parasite, and if my nature lacks the germ that grows towering to heaven like the mountain pine, I stand not high, it may be, but alone. Alone, yes, but why go about making enemies? Watching other people making friends everywhere, as a dog makes friends. I mark the manner of these canine courtesies and think, here comes, thank heaven, another enemy. Yes, tell this to all the world. And then to me say, very softly, that she loves you not. Let me be alone for a moment. Cyrano makes his way to the private dining room, but before he can reach the door, one of the guardsmen calls out to him. Cyrano, wait! Give us your story of the fight. Presently. No, the story now! Oh, let him alone, there's time enough. I want it now! As an example for that young tadpole sneaking out the doorway. You there! He points dramatically at another guardsman just about to leave. Are you addressing me? Yes, you flat-footed Norman farmer. You wish something of me? Listen, Monsieur de whatever your name is, de Neuvillette. Baron Christian de Neuvillette. Very well, de Neuvillette. As you are a newcomer here, you should know that there is a certain subject, or object if you prefer, that is never mentioned among us. And that is, look at me. Another guardsman turned de Neuvillette around and indicates his nose. You understand? You mean that we never speak that word. To even breathe it is to have to do with him. He points to the dining room to indicate Cyrano.
He has exterminated several whose mere tone of voice suggested, "Would you die before your time?" Just mention anything convex or cartilaginous. One word, one syllable, one gesture, nay, one sneeze, and your handkerchief becomes your winding sheet.
Christian dislodges himself from the other guardsman and taps Captain Lebret on the shoulder.
Captain.
Sir?
What is the proper thing to do when Gascons grow too boastful?
Prove to them that one may be a normal and still have courage.
I thank you.
Just then, Cyrano returns from the private room and is greeted by the guardsman again.
Come on, Cyrano, your story.
Yes, well, let me see. Where shall we begin?
I followed with our host to meet those scoundrels, not knowing where they might attack. No lamps in those narrow back streets. No moon in the sky. Dark. Everything dark.
It was so dark, Mordieu, you could not see beyond your nose. Christian interrupts Cyrano. Everything remains completely silent for several terrifyingly intense seconds.
Who is that man there?
Pointing slowly across the room at Christian.
A new recruit. He arrived last week. A recruit, eh? Ha ha! His name is Christian de Neuvillette.
Cyrano's face changes. He stands there motionless for a moment, torn.
I see. Very well. As I was saying, it grew dark. You could not see your hand before your eyes. I marched on thinking that all for the sake of one amateur poet who wrote a verse whenever he took a noseful. Whenever he took a notion, I might antagonize some dangerous man, one powerful enough to make me pay through the nose. Pay the piper! After all, I thought, why am I putting in my nose? Oh, putting in my oar. The quarrel is not of mine. However, now that I am here, I may as well go through with it. Come, Gascon, do your duty. Suddenly, a sword flashed in the dark. I got it fair on the nose, on my blade. Before I knew it, there I was, rubbing noses, crossing swords with half a score at once. I gave them a nosegay, French Sanskrit. He went down the Resclave way. I charged nose in the air. I skewered two of them, disarmed a third. Another lunge, and I parried with your nose. Out of here, all of you, go! Leave me with him!
Everyone leaves Cyrano alone with Christian, with as much haste as if the shop were about to be leveled by artillery. Christian stands his ground, ready to face the danger head-on. Cyrano approaches, but rather than drawing his sword, he opens his hands and spreads them wide.
To my arms, sir. You have courage, that pleases me.
Why?
Oh, come on. Do you not know I am her brother?
Whose?
Hers.
Roxane?
Her brother? You?
Well, a distant cousin, much the same.
Then she has told you?
Everything.
She loves me?
Perhaps.
My dear sir, more than I can say, I am honored. Oh, this is rather sudden. Oh, please forgive me if you knew how much I have admired.
Yes, and all those noses.
Please. I apologize.
Cyrano gives Christian a complimentary pat on the shoulder and takes a seat. Roxane expects a letter.
From me?
Yes, why not?
Oh, no, once I write, that ruins everything.
Why?
Because any schoolboy could write to her more gracefully than I. I'm a fool.
You did not attack me like a fool.
Anyone can pick a quarrel. No, I'm never at a loss for words among men, but with any woman, paralyzed, speechless, dumb. I'm one of those stammering idiots who cannot quote a woman.
Really? As for myself, it seems to me that, given the opportunity, and if I put my mind to it, I could do that rather well.
Oh, if I had words to say what I have here.
If I were handsome like you, together we could make one mighty hero of romance.
If only I had your wit.
Borrow it, then.
What?
Tell me, would you dare repeat to her the words I gave you day by day? Send to her the letters that I write,
What do you mean? I mean Roxanne shall have no disillusionment. Come, shall we win her both together? For you? Oh, but Cyrano, Christian, why not? I'm afraid. Afraid that when you have her all alone you will lose her? Have no fear, it is yourself she loves. Give her yourself. Put into words my words upon your lips. Will you? Will you? Does it mean so much to you? It means a comedy, a situation for a poet. Come, shall we collaborate? I'll be your cloak of darkness, your enchanted sword, your ring to charm the fairy princess. Think, is the prize not worth the danger? My friend. My friend. In Cyrano's room. Take my heart, I shall have it all the more. Plucking the flowers, we but keep the plant in bloom. Thus do I love thee, my darling. Idiot. There are a dozen ways to read that line. Can't you give it some meaning? Any meaning. Thus do I love thee. 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 Thee. The next day. Who knows your smile has known a perfect thing. You are a white rose wherein love lies in ambush for his natural prey. In the garden of my heart, you are the most... Cyrano points his nose in Christian's direction. Fragrant blossom. After some weeks have passed, as the tender sapling thirsts for rain, as the eagle seeks the sky, as the wave hurtles toward the shore, my heart yearns for you. Good. You know, you're beginning to have a feel for words. Words, I'm sick of words. Those are your weapons. How else do you conquer? Yes, but when? They're fighting in the north now, you know that. The regiment will be called up any day now, and I have not even kissed her. Patience, my boy. Patience. I've been patient. Why, she sees the Comte de Guiche as often as she does me. Do you suppose she's playing with me? Making a fool of me? Impossible. How can you say? How do you know? Cyrano, you have her confidence. You could find out. Cyrano ponders this for a moment, hands Christian his lute and puts on his hat. Then he thinks better of it, takes off his hat and takes the lute back to Christian. Nonsense, I say. Oh, very well. He gives the lute back to Christian. I'll scout the terrain. But Cyrano, intelligently, discreetly. Yes. With finesse. At this, Cyrano merely eyes Christian pointedly as he dons his hat. The white plume of his hat bounces in proud dignity. Satisfied by the cessation of further comments, he departs. When Cyrano speaks with Roxanne, he broaches the subject thusly. And, what do you think of Christian after all these weeks? He is beautiful and brilliant, and I love him. Good. Do you find him intellectual? More so than you even, huh? Oh, I did not mean... No, I am glad. No man ever so beautifully said those things, those pretty nothings that are everything. Sometimes he falls into a reverie. His inspiration fails. But then all at once he will say something absolutely... Really? How like a man! You think because a man has a handsome face he must be a fool. Not necessarily. He talks well of matters of the heart. He does not talk. He rhapsodizes, dreams. Only the other night he said to me, extemporaneously, mind you, oh, of course, "Take my heart, I shall have it all the more. Plucking the flowers, we but keep the plant in bloom." Well? Possible. He writes well? Wonderfully. Listen now. Knowing you have in store more heart to give than I to find heart room. First he has too much heart, then too little. Just how much heart does he need? You are teasing me. You are jealous. Jealous? Yes. You poets are all alike. Would you dare criticize these lines?
only believe that unto you my whole heart gives one cry. In writing, writes down more than you receive, sending you kisses through my fingertips. Lady, oh, read my letter with your lips.
Yes, those last lines.
But he overwrites. Listen to this.
Do you know them all by heart?
Every one.
Well, I may call that flattering.
He's a master.
Oh, come.
Yes, a master.
A master, if you will. And when do you bestow the laurel wreath? How many prodigies of poetry must this new Hercules perform?
I do not know. My friend, you men own the world and all that's in it. Woman is at best a prize, a property valued much the same as a horse or a dog, on length of hair and sheen of skin and soundness of teeth and limb. Well, if I must be chattel, then the terms shall be mine, and the price according to my own values, dear.
I see. Christian tells me that you meet tonight. What will you have him speak about?
Oh, nothing. And everything. I shall say, speak to me of love in your own words. Improvise, rhapsodize. Be eloquent. But you will not tell him, will you?
Perish the thought.
Madame, Comte de Guiche.
At the duenna's announcement, the Comte de Guiche enters. Madame, the Comte takes his hat off with a flourish and bows deeply to present himself. Monsieur, the Comte offers Cyrano merely a nod. Madame, Cyrano acknowledges Roxane. Monsieur, Cyrano mimics the Comte's mating dance with an even deeper bow. Roxane manages to turn around in time to stifle her laughter without arousing suspicion. Once Cyrano is done, he puts his hat back on and looks directly into De Guiche's face as he noisily takes a bite out of an apple, and then departs. Later, as Christian is making his way to Roxane's home, Christian, wait! No! There's still time to learn your lines. No! I have some brilliant phrases for you, delicate, sensitive. No! I'll have no more of it, taking all my words, my sentences all from you, making our love a little comedy. Don't you? It was a game at first, but now she cares. Oh, thanks to you. I'm not afraid any longer. I'll speak for myself now. Oh, undoubtedly. I will. You shall see. Besides, I know enough to take a woman in my arms, and tonight I will. Christian, thank you, my friend, and goodbye. Christian, I beg of you, leave me. You're making a grave error. Go away. So be it. Cyrano slinks away, and Christian bows to Roxane as she opens the door.
Christian, Roxane, I am so glad you're here early. Let us stay out here in the moonlight. It's so pleasant. Sit down. There, so... Now, speak to me.
I love you.
Yes, speak to me of love.
I love you.
Now be eloquent, be brilliant for me. Tonight of all nights.
I love you.
So. You have your theme. Now improvise, rhapsodize.
I love you very much.
I ask for cream and you give me milk and water. Tell me first a little how you love me.
Very much.
Is that all you feel?
Your throat. If only I might kiss it. Christian! But Roxane, I love you again. No, not again. I do not love you.
That is better.
I adore you. I know I grow absurd, and that distresses me as much as if you had grown ugly.
Oh, please, gather your dreams together into words.
I I know you love me. Good night.
Roxanne gets up and starts walking back to the door.
No, but wait. Please. I was going to say that you adore me. Yes, I know that too. No. Go away.
She slams the door in his face. Defeated, Christian retreats. Cyrano applauds Christian loudly.
A great success. Help me.
Not I. Speak for yourself, my friend.
Why, I can't.
Well, at least you know enough to take a woman in your arms.
Oh, Cyrano, please.
What, and make your love a little comedy?
Cyrano, I cannot live unless I can win her back now, this moment.
This moment? How the devil am I to teach you now, Her window.
Help me, Cyrano, help me. Shh.
It does seem fairly dark.
Well.
It is more than you deserve. But let's try what can be done. Stand over there.
Idiot, here, before the balcony. I'll whisper you what to say. She may hear. Shh. Call her.
Roxanne? Roxanne? Who is calling?
Christian. You again? I had to tell you.
No, go away. You tell me nothing.
Please.
You do not love me anymore.
No, not anymore. I love you evermore. And ever more and more.
A little better.
Love grows and struggles like an angry child, breaking my heart, his cradle.
Better still. But such a babe is dangerous. Why not have smothered it newborn?
And so I do, and yet he lives. I find, as you shall find, this newborn babe, an infant Hercules.
Good.
Strong enough at birth to strangle those two serpents, doubt and pride.
Why, very good. Only tell me why you speak so haltingly. Has your imagination gone lame?
This grows too difficult. Cyrano decides that he has no choice but to try and imitate Christian's voice rather than speaking to him through him as an intermediary.
Your words tonight hesitate. Why?
Through the warm summer gloom, they grope in darkness toward the light of you. My words are heavy with honey like returning bees, yet they must fly so high.
Come nearer then, stand you on the bench.
No. Then I'll come down.
No!
And why so great a no?
Let me enjoy the one moment I ever. My one chance to speak to you unseen.
Unseen?
Yes. Night making all things dimly beautiful, one veil over us both. You need no eyes to hear my heart. Oh, tonight let it seem as if I speak for the first time.
For the first time?
Yes.
Your voice even is not the same.
How should it be? I have another voice tonight. My own. Myself. Daring.
Why daring?
Because what am I? What is any man that he dare ask for you? Therefore my heart is hidden behind poetic words and tinselled phrases.
But are they not sweet, those pretty phrases?
Not enough sweet for you and me tonight.
You never spoke to me like this.
I tell you, there comes one moment once, and heaven help those who pass that moment by, when beauty stands looking into the soul with grave, sweet eyes that sicken at pretty words.
Yes, that is love.
Love. I love beyond breath, beyond reason, beyond love's own power of loving. Your name is like a golden bell hung in my heart, and when I think of you I tremble, and the bell swings and rings. Roxanne! Roxanne! Along my veins. Roxanne!
Yes, that is love.
Yes, that is love. That wind of terrible and jealous beauty. That dark fire. That soaring, blinding music. Yet you may take my happiness to make you happier even though you never know I gave it to you. Only let me hear sometimes, all alone,
the distant laughter of your joy. Do you begin to understand a little? Can you feel my soul there in the darkness breathe on you? Oh, only tonight. Now I dare say these things, I to you, and you hear them. It is my voice, mine, my own, that makes you tremble there in the green gloom above me, for you do tremble as a blossom among the leaves. You tremble, and I can feel all the way down the lithe jasmine branch, whether you will or no, the passion of you trembling.
Yes, I do tremble, and I weep, and I love you, and I am yours, and you have made me thus.
I have done this to you. I myself. Only let me ask one thing more.
One kiss. Christian whispers to Cyrano, but Roxane hears. You ask me for...
Yes, that is to say, I mean...
You've gone too far. She's willing. Why not make the most of it?
I know I ask too much.
Only one? Is that all?
All? How much more than all? I know I startle you. I ask you to refuse.
Why? Be quiet. What is that you say?
I am angry with myself because I know I go too far, and I say to myself, Christian, be quiet!
Watch, someone comes.
Roxane retreats back from the balcony, and Cyrano and Christian go to the gate to see who is there.
Good sir, I am looking for the house of Madame Roxane Robin. This is not the house. That way. To the right. Keep to the right. I thank you, sir. I shall say my beads for you to the very last grain.
The monk leaves.
Win me that kiss. No. Sooner or later.
At this point, Cyrano grabs Christian in a vice grip, but then starts to relent and lets him go.
True, that is true. Sooner or later it must be so, because she is young, and you are handsome. Since it must be, I'd rather be myself the cause of what must be.
Cyrano and Christian return to their spot under the balcony, and Roxane reemerges.
Are you still there?
Yes.
We were speaking of...
A kiss.
A kiss.
And what is a kiss when all is done? A vow taken before the shrine of memory, a rosy dot over the eye of loving, a secret whispered to listening lips apart. Shh. A moment made immortal with a rush of wings unseen, a sacrament of blossoms, a new song sung by two hearts to an old, simple tune.
Hush.
Why? What shame?
No shame. Then come, gather your sacred blossom, your moment made immortal.
Climb, but climb, animal!
Christian climbs. When he reaches the top, Christian and Roxane look into each other's eyes.
Roxane!
After a moment, they simultaneously surrender in a lover's embrace, leaving Cyrano alone in the darkness below.
Roxane, I have won what I have won. A feast of love. And I'm faint with hunger. Yet I have something here that is mine now, and was not mine before. I spoke the words that won her. She kisses my words. My words. Upon his lips.